Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to a brand new Ike Live. Man, we got a great show for you today. Joining us in just a little bit, we have the one and only Cliff Crochet, the CAJUN Baby. That's right, Cliff Crochet, CAJUN Baby, joining us here on the show. Before we get into it, I want to mention real quick, I hope you're enjoying this new format. This is kind of a stripped down version of the show that you've listened to and watched for 10 years. So I hope you're enjoying it. Shout out to my cast and crew from 10 years of Ike Live, Brian the Carpenter, Dave Brodzik, of course, Becky, Pete Glusick, Rizzo, Jake, Powerbait Paul, everyone that was involved with the show, Eric the intern over the years. Shout out to you guys. It was an awesome run. And those guys aren't gone. They're coming back. They're going to make guest appearances, or we're going to have special shows in the upcoming season. But in saying that, I love what's going on right now. I love this new format. It's giving me the chance to get a little more up close and personal with these guys, and little more one-on-one time with our guests, which I like. All right. I want to start off with our sponsor obligations. Of course, Mystery Tackle Box, man. You've heard me say it over 10 years. It's like Christmas to your doorstep, and it really is. And we are one of the only podcasts that does a live unboxing here. And at the end of this segment, we're going to be doing an unboxing of either a Pro box or an Elite box. And listen, guys, these are both great options. There's not a wrong option here. But if you want to try these boxes, and you know, they come with stuff that's new, that's cutting edge, that's stuff you don't see, on out there on the normal basis. This is cool stuff. Comes to your doorstep once a month. If you want to participate in this, go over to mysterytacklebox.com. While you're there, if you use the promo code Ike Live, you're going to get 30% off your first Elite box, and you're going to get 50% off your first Pro box. That's half off. So head over there, MrTackleBox.com. It's a great product. Also, we're brought to you by Ike Foundation. We're still waiting here for Cliff to come on, but while we're waiting, got a haircut today. Let me see. That's right. Everything's backwards on film here. Got a haircut today. Shout out to my barber, Joel, out there at Mullica Hill. Has a little barbershop out there called Main Event Barbershop. Shout out to Joel for the fresh cut. Thank you very much. I like it. Also, I want to remind everybody, I get a lot of comments about my Ike apparel that I've been wearing. This is that AFCO times Ike collaboration that we've done. Got some great gear out there. Amazing stuff that, of course, I've been wearing on tour and whatnot. But you can get this stuff over at AFCO.com. Head on over there. Check it out. We got some great gear. I feel kind of naked without my hat. Should I put my hat on? Just leave my hair. Maybe I'll just leave my hair. I don't know. Cliff comes up. Cliff doesn't have a hat on all the time. Sometimes he doesn't have a hat. So we'll find out here in a second. Still waiting for Cliff to come on. Let me, real quick, just because we're waiting for him to pop up. The only other thing I want to talk about real quick is I was inducted into the Hall of Fame, or I was nominated for an induction into the Hall of Fame back at the Classic a few months ago. And I just want to tell you, it honestly really hasn't even set in yet. It's kind of crazy that it's been almost 2 months, and the feeling is still very raw and fresh, and it doesn't feel real. I got into the sport for a lot of reasons, and I got into the sport with a lot of aspirations. But that was one I never even really kind of wrapped my hands around, was, being in a group like that one day. I don't think it's something you think about. It maybe just sneaks up on you, and at 50 years old, I'll be 51 here in a month. It definitely snuck up on me. And it's an amazing thing. It's very humbling. It's an honor. And it makes you feel good, because it makes you feel like people have appreciated what you've done in your career. So thank you to all the fans over the last 2 months that have sent comments and sponsors, and also thank you to the committee that made the nomination. I appreciate that. It's an honor. It's just super honor. But enough about me. We got a good buddy of mine on here, and a guy that I've known for a really, really long time. And I'm excited. I think I've said this to him before, but I think he's been on Ike Live more than any other guest we've ever had on the show. And so as we change this format to Ike Live 2.0 and this more up close and personal one-on-one format, I had to have him on immediately. Like, I don't know if he knows, but he's only the third guest on this new format. So let's bring him on. Joining us now, my good buddy, Cliff Crochet. Cliff, how you doing?
Life is good, Michael. Life is good.
Life is good. That's a great saying. I've actually had people at tournaments repeat sayings of anglers, including myself. You know, I've got to never give up. But a lot of people love that saying. Have you had that saying your whole life, or is that something that's developed during fishing, or where'd that come from?
No, that came from fishing on the Elite Series. You're on the stage. You had a good day, so life is good. That's just how you wrap up the interview.
Yeah.
Or if you had a horrible day and you want to, you're thinking about quit fishing and selling all your stuff, and you dropping F-bombs and stuff. Just life is good. It's just a good way to end the interview.
Well, it's a great saying. It's a great fishing saying. It's a great life saying. It really is. And speaking of life is good, how is life? I want to start with the family. Let's talk about fishing in a second. How's the family? How's the kids? How's Sarah? How's your mom and dad? How's everybody doing?
Life is good.
Life is good. There's the answer again.
Bro, look at this. Got a new haircut going.
I did too. Heck yeah.
It's all about saving money, being efficient. But, bro, my life is so good. Check this out. I got a good-looking wife.
You do?
She's attractive. She's a cool person. She's batting 1,000. She's awesome. I finally learned after 4 kids and 8 years of marriage, I just be quiet and let her tell me what to do, and life's a lot easier.
Yeah.
So Sarah's awesome. The kids are growing. Ben's 7 now, Lee's 5.
Yeah.
The twins are 3. Ben and Lee played baseball this year. Ben played football last year. The twins are starting to 3, so it's almost like we got a group of boys, like bunch of friends at home all the time. It's busy. At the end of last year, me and Sarah came up with this deal where we just sit down in the afternoon, just try to sit down for about 10 or 15 minutes and just watch. Just don't do nothing but watch.
Yeah.
It's hot. Just let them play and just watch. As long as nobody's killing each other.
Yeah.
Just I think there's Ferris Bueller said, life is fast. If you don't stop, it'll fly right by.
That's a good I like that. That's a good parental strategy,
Well, try to keep your sanity too. Hey, yeah. Check this out. Always got something. Special guest. Can I bring a special guest in real quick?
Of course you can bring a special. We love special guests like that.
Come see, buddy. This dude was a record holder at one time, I think. Maybe. Survivor champion.
Hey, Steven! How you doing? Good to see you, man.
Doing well.
Good to see you. I miss you guys. I miss touring with you guys.
Well, we miss you too.
I don't miss any of the politics over there, but I miss you guys.
I say new thing's been going for about 3 or 4 years now. Got me a couple roommates. I traded Sarah and the kids for Steven and Anthony. Sarah's much better looking and cooks a whole lot better, but not a bad deal.
Yeah,
not a bad deal at all.
That's a good deal. Now I got to ask you. It's funny because at one time you were a rookie, you were a new guy, and now you're a veteran. You've been doing this for a while. Has leaving Sarah and the kids, has that gotten any easier You know, I mean, that's a tough. I think that's the toughest part for me, and a lot of fans don't understand that feeling. But talk about that. Has that got any easier? Has it gotten harder?
No, it gets harder. It gets harder because, well, when you start out back in it, when you start out as a rookie or before, when you're trying to qualify in the first year or two, or, I wasn't married, didn't have no kids at the time. So it was all good. You'd sell your soul to fish. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
You get into it a little bit, the noodle wears off. You find out if you really like it. And then, and you get married and you have kids, and it's kind of, you're still all in. And the bad thing when it gets tough is whenever they know you're leaving.
Yeah.
And they cry when you leave.
Yeah.
And then they learn about it, and then they know daddy's gone for a week, 10 days or whatever.
Yeah.
And they kind of good with it. They just learn that's what it is. But yeah, I'm a big old boy, but I don't like leaving.
Yeah.
I'm good for about 2 days. I'm good for about 36 hours. You still get excited to go fish a tournament. You still, you get in the water, it's all cool. But the worst part for me is in the summertime. You got and I don't know why, I guess because it's the end of the season or you're right in the meat of the season.
Yeah.
Mountains, you're always around mountains. Like this week we're at Gunnersville. You got the mountains. La Crosse, Wisconsin, you got mountains. Those are places you always go in the middle of the ground at the end of the season. So mountains, summertime, and rain in the afternoon and afternoon showers, absolute homesick. Comes over me. I want to park my boat and I start walking home.
That's interesting. It's so interesting because it's like an emotional trigger. All those things, right? The scenery, the rain, the smell of the air. It's an emotional trigger to want to be home.
It's like, bro, this sucks. And, Alabama's not so bad. It's 8 hours. I could be home in 8 hours. But, man, you get stuck at La Crosse, Wisconsin. It's raining. You ain't got bit. Shit. It's
I know the feeling. And again, I want to reiterate, man, I think for a lot of us, it's the toughest part, right, Cliff? It's the toughest part of the sport. It's not the fishing, the sponsors, it's leaving the home. It's leaving the family, man. That's tough. And I want to say family at a bigger part because it's not just your wife and your kids. It's your friends. It's your mom. It's your dad. It's your uncle. It's your grandparents. It's everybody. It's the whole family. Speaking of family, I do want to change topic a little bit, and this is something I've mentioned before and cornered you before on Ike Live, and I want to do it again just because I think about it a lot, which is, dude, we are as different as you could get. Like I'm looking at this screen right now. We got a side-by-side video here. We're as different as you could get. A lot physically, geographically. I mean, we're Jersey and Louisiana as far apart as you can get. But I've told you this before. When I come and visit with you, when I'm hanging with your family, dude, I don't know what it is about Southern Louisiana, but I feel more at home with you guys and other families and people in Southern Louisiana, almost as much as I do at home in Philadelphia. Okay. So I guess the first question is, why are Philly people like Southern Louisiana people? What's the connection there?
I don't know if it's Philly people or just you. You know who else needs to come hang out? The Rod Father. He's from Philly.
Heck yeah. He is from Philly. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think we just like to hang out. Everything's easy. Just kind of whatever. Just it's not like a YOLO kind of thing, you know what I mean? But it's like nothing's really. We eat good, we hang out, you laugh, don't take too much too serious.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I always thought it might have something to do with like the ethnic connection, right? So like, a lot of Philadelphia people, including myself, very strong ethnic ties, whether it's Italian or Polish or Dutch. Louisiana people, a lot of ethnic ties, right? Southern Louisiana, French, Italian. And there's something I think about strong ethnic family that maybe is the same. Maybe it has something to do with that. You know, I don't know.
I don't know. I guess proud people. I guess I don't know. I guess when you come from a strong culture, I guess you I don't know if you're confident or proud, and it's just
Could be.
I mean, when you're happy and confident and proud, life is good.
Life is good.
It flows. Hey,
Life is good.
you asked about family. I can't believe I forgot. Ben and Lee, about 2 weeks ago, they said, "Hey, we want to fish a tournament."
Ooh.
So we fished a tournament Friday afternoon. But Friday afternoon, same tournaments I fished as a kid, same tackle shop. I mean, it's perfect. I've been waiting for almost 8 years since they were born. To get that call, you know. Try not to push it on them, but just wait. I mean, I've been having $40 entry fee money saved. So I'm like, perfect. We can just all fish together. Us three, you know, it's all good. These dudes did not want to fish with me. They wanted to fish. It was a 2-man team. They wanted to fish 2-man team. So Ben fished with me, and Lee fished with his parent, my buddy Tyson. And we went talking about, you know, Sarah being an absolute perfect mama. She went to the dollar store, filled up an ice chest. I think she spent $50 on snacks. Got them to the boat ramp with each ice chest, put one in each a boat. We go fishing, right? We start off, we catch a couple. And so me and Ben's fishing together, 3 fish limit, and we catch one. There's no size limit.
Yeah.
Any size goes. So I hook one, give the rod to Ben. He reels it in. It's like 11 inches. Put him in the box. High five. It's all good. I said, Ben, we're good. We got 3 fish limit. It's so, you know, trying to make it education. I said, we get 3 fish limit. We caught one. How many we got left to catch? He said, we got to catch 3 more. I said, no, buddy. It's you didn't hear me. We got 3 fish limit. You caught one. So how many more we need to catch? He said, we need 3 more, Daddy, because that one's not going to cut it. That one ain't big enough. We need bigger. I was like, yes.
Teaching them young, man.
And then I called Tyson to check on him and Lee. And some kind of way, the net got caught in the key. Lee goes to take the net away from the key, pulls the key out, drops on the floor, thought it fell in the bayou. They can't find the key. But they call a local mechanic, get the key, get a master set of keys, to get the keys, to bring them keys. So it was all perfect.
An adventure.
He got a check, 4th place. That was awesome. And Jay, one of the twins, he caught his first fish the other day.
Wow.
A wacky one. So I throw a spinning rod out and right in the bayou by my house. And he's kind of, you know, he's reeling. He ain't got a clue what's going on. The line's swimming to the side. I grab the rod, I hook it, I give it back. He starts reeling it all on my social media. I got this on camera. It's on my Facebook page. Go check it out. So he reels it in. And he gets on the bank, and this dude says, yeah, you got a noop in his mouth. Yeah, he gets all pumped up. And then Les, his brother, comes over. Les says, you did it. You did it. It was awesome.
Dude, there's nothing.
Awesome.
There's nothing like that. Like I know from my kids, but especially my son, that feeling of having them start to love what you love, the passion of it. You know, what a great feeling that is. So cool to see that.
And then the brothers, you know, to see brothers pumped up and happy faces.
Oh yeah,
we good.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Speaking of get pumped up, Cliff, I'm pumped up that you're having a good season this year. I'm pumped up because of that. In fact, as we're talking, this will air a little later, but as we're talking, you're coming off an awesome first day at Guntersville, dude. Top 20, like 12th or 13th. Really good days. Yeah, 17 pounds. So I was watching a little bit yesterday. Great day. Dude, you're killing it this season. Why? And I know this is a really broad question. And I can look in the mirror and ask myself the same thing because I couldn't catch a bass last year. I could not catch a bass last year, and I'm catching some this year. But why? Tell me what it is, Cliff. Because I can watch you and I see it in your body language. I was watching you at Murray live, and I'm looking at you and I'm like, that's a different Cliff. And I don't know if it's confidence or energy, but I could see something different. So what is it? What, why, how? Tell me.
So the biggest deal is we started in Florida. I'll give you the short version of it.
Yeah.
We started in Florida. Florida's tough. It's big. It all looks the same. I missed the cut by 1.5 pounds, and my biggest fish was a 3-4 over 2 days. So that was kind of struggled through that. You know, almost had a good tournament. But if I catch a 5-pounder, life is good. It
right.
Just went to Douglas. Douglas was just freezing cold at 40 foot long. Didn't do a good job.
Yeah.
When I get to South Carolina and fishing around and not really catching them, and it's tough when you stand at Gagliardi's house for the tournament. I mean, he's probably gonna win a tournament, which he does. He goes on and wins it.
Yeah.
You know the lake. You know it's been taking 25 pounds to win a tournament. You get hyped up, and you start wanting to go to 100 different places and do a bunch of different things. But what happened? The short of it is at Murray, I was fishing, trying to do the Murray deal, skipping docks. I went up the river and all this. So about 9:30, that second day of practice, I'm about to go to the river. So I'm gonna spend an hour back in the lake, you know, down around the ramp, that area, and then go to the river and get some bites. So I'm skipping worms, listening to that. Well, I get to some rocks, and I pick up that whopper plopper, and I get a bite. Smoked it. Keep going, get another bite. Keep going, get another bite. So I kind of did that a little bit more, and then tried to finish my day to find some more fish. So as the tournament's about to start, I'm like, what am I gonna do? What to do?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, quit making this hard. You just go do what you got bit doing in practice.
Yeah.
That seems really simple, but when you do nothing but try to put a puzzle together and find the next step, sometimes you forget the first step.
Right.
So I'm like, just do what you got bit in practice doing. You know what I mean? So that's how Murray worked out. We're here at Gunnersville, another big body of water, another legendary place. If you're not careful, you get caught up in the hype. You need to catch 30 pounds. So I'm like, man, scratch that. I'm going somewhere in Gunnersville I've never been. And I got in that area and I saw something. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, that ought to be one. I got 3 or 4 bites real quick. So I'm like, I got this in my back pocket. And then I tried to do some more Gunnersville stuff on a lake, and it just didn't work out. So I guess the last couple of weeks has just been about not trying to do too much. You know, you try to do too much on the water. Simplifying your fishing a little bit. Yeah, like, and you've heard people talk about this before. If today we catch them if yesterday we caught them on a spinnerbait, and we go fishing tomorrow, or we could throw a spinnerbait. Like, just stop trying to, that pro talk, that pro thinking. Right. If they bit a chatterbait, I bet they bite a buzzbait. Well, no, if they bit a chatterbait, throw a chatterbait more. Right.
Yeah. I'm so glad you're bringing this up, because I think it's very, very easy to fall into that trap of what you're talking about, which is overthinking stuff, making stuff too complicated. I mean, I'm guilty of that all the time, dude. It's, especially I like to have a lot of rods out, and, and guys are good at that. Don't get me wrong. But I think there's a fine line between doing what you do, staying with something that works, tried and true, it's working, and overthinking stuff. So sounds like you're simplifying your fishing. That's awesome. That's good.
What's happened in the past is, so you catch them on a spinnerbait, let's say. Yeah. You catch them on a spinnerbait. All right, if I know they on a spinnerbait, I got a bad habit of proving they on a spinnerbait by not catching nothing on a chatterbait. Right. If that makes any sense. Right. It does. Yeah. Like, instead of doing more of the right thing to get more bites to prove that I'm right, I'm gonna do more of the wrong thing to prove that other thing was right. Right. And for some reason that feels good. Like, I don't know if it feels good. Like, it feels like you trying different things. I know they'll bite a spinnerbait. Let me do everything else. Yeah. And I'll come back to the spinnerbait. But what happens is you run out of time. And the spinnerbait might have been a 8 bite a day deal. But when you spend the other 5 hours doing stupid stuff, you come back and throw a spinnerbait for the last little bit of the day, and you get 3 bites. you're like, damn, if I'd have done that all day, I probably would have got 2 more good bites. So.
Yeah, it's a good thought. The other thing that I just want to corny on, and this is maybe another reason or maybe not, but with MLF announcing the 5-fish format this year, when they first announced it, this is just me. In my head, I could look at that list of you guys and be like, boom, 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 boom. These guys are going to have a good season. And you were on that list. Do you feel like that's helped you, or has that changed your strategy at all? Like, have you went back to old Cliff a little bit with that new format? Or tell me about that.
Well, I'm glad we're back to 5-fish. I think it's a traditional format. I will tell you this: every fish counts is a fun format. You fish before this fun.
I loved it. Yeah.
Do I think we missed the mark a little bit by doing that on a regular tour? Maybe, probably.
Yeah.
Does that have a spot? Yeah, but going back to 5-fish, the thing that, like, I didn't change fishing for all the bites I could get. I never changed.
Yeah.
And that's how I always ended up 2 or 3 bites short. You know what I mean? Because I was getting, 6 to 7 bites a day, or 6 to 10
of the right bites.
Right bites. And then if you're getting a bite an hour, you miss 2. One's non-scoreable. Well, now you just fall behind. So for me, nothing really changed. It's more of a back to normal and just settle in. Like yesterday, I caught a 2.9 pretty quick. That first bite settles you down. Then I caught a 112 or a 115. A 115. I'm sorry, I caught a 2.9 and a 314. I'm like, well, hell, if I get 3 more bites, and this is like an hour into the day, but if I get 3 more bites, I'm good.
Yeah.
And then I catch a 115, and then I catch a couple 3-pounders. But I just hit that spurt during the day. When you hit that spurt where you catch one every 20, I caught a 3-pounder, 20 minutes, 3 3-pounders, 20 minutes apart from each other.
Yeah, nice little roll.
And then a 5-fish format, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Every fish counts. You're like, man, you just got to keep going no matter what.
Yeah.
So, it slowed the game down. I do think fishing every fish counts ended up making me a better 5-fish fisherman, though, because when you fish, when you start fishing 5 fish, that clock's on you early.
Yeah. And
then your clock makes a decision for you. Well, fishing 5 fish, fishing every fish counts. You didn't think about 5. You just kept fishing.
Right.
Next thing you know, you was at 6 or 7.
Right.
Like, damn, I forgot about 5. So what that taught me was you just keep fishing, and 5 will come. You just got to keep fishing.
Yeah.
So this won't air till after, so it don't really matter. Skipping undercut banks. Dude, that's probably my favorite way to fish.
Wow. Yeah, that's overlooked a lot too, right?
Yeah.
That's not super obvious pattern.
No, and I only found 1 or 2 banks that look like this. But yesterday I skipped a frog. 75% of the bites I'm getting, I can't even see them because they're so far back, overhand.
Yeah.
I mean, old school Rojas stuff. It was awesome. Yesterday I made a cast way back yonder, and I twitch, and I hear him, and I set the hook, and I miss him. I just set the hook a bit too early. Jesus was on my side. I reel back up. You know how hard it is to make the same exact cast. Better get the same skip.
Yeah.
Same skip. It goes back there. I twitch it. He bites it again. I give him just another second or 2. And it do this awesome because you can't see. You don't know how big it is. But I know that sound.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is a good one. Rare back crack on him. 314.
Wow.
Like, yes.
Almost 4-pounder.
Yeah,
man, that's
perfect.
awesome. That sounds like a super fun way to fish. I'd like to do that.
Perfect.
I want to, the format's changed here, Cliff. It's definitely different. It's just me and you, but some things on Like Live stay the same. And one of the things that stay the same is I like to dip in a little controversy once in a while. And
imagine that.
Yeah, you know how I am. And when I thought of some controversial stuff I could talk to you about, one thing popped out is because I feel like you're the best person on the face of the planet to ask about this current controversy. You really are.
It's a scary.
No, it's not that scary because, and I feel like you're an honest person. You're going to be honest with me. But, dude, I just got back from Lay Lake. Fishing was terrible. And more people were talking about this controversy than the fishing itself. But if you're under a log somewhere, maybe you don't know about it. But Keith Pochet disqualified from the recent Bass Open on Toledo Bend for using a smaller boat and jumping into a backwater, jumping over sort of a road into a backwater. So, I mean, I've heard the extremes for people that they love it and they think it's okay, to he should be kicked out of the sport for the rest of his life, to people in the middle that are indifferent. Tell me about it. Talk a little bit about this, because Southern Louisiana guy, that's kind of normal. I've been in small boats with you. I know what you do with small boats. Talk a little bit about that.
So check this out. I'll start off by saying this. I do not know what the bass rules read.
Okay.
So I don't know. So you got to know that. I don't know what the rules read.
All right.
What I do know is, Keith called the Sabine River Authority.
Yeah.
To see what he needed to do to get in that place or whatnot.
Yeah.
The Sabine River Authority told him that that body of water was Toledo Bend. So
right. Part of tournament water. It's considered Toledo Bend.
I mean, the Sabine River Authority governs Toledo Bend.
Right.
And they said it is the same part of Toledo Bend. So right there, I see where Keith's coming from. I mean, they say it's the same body of water. You know, I don't know what the rules say about crossing dry land and whatnot.
Yeah.
You know, it's Keith, bro. Keith always ends up in something. It's Keith. I do know this. If Keith likes to fish that way, way up shallow, running behind stuff.
Yeah.
Cool, I get it. Like I said, they build him at home all the time to run across stuff and all. As an angler, he just got to be sure that he knows the rules and regulations of where he's at and this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I tell you, the Bend thing is weird. I will say this. There was other local tournaments make that off limits, or so I've seen reading all this thing online.
Right.
And we've been there. I've been there with Bass several times, and they've never marked it off limits.
Right.
Maybe you know, every situation is a learning deal. Maybe they need to put it off just to make sure. Maybe he should have asked for permission. I don't know. That's
it's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
It's a tough one. I'm on the fence about it, because I you know, and this is just my personal response. I haven't publicly responded to it at all. I love the small boat thing because, you know, Cliff, I've, like you, John boat fishing, small boat fishing is my background. I love it. I think that whole thing is cool. It brings an excitement to the sport. So part of me likes it. The other part of me, you know, just if it's tournament waters, yes. If it's not tournament waters, no. So, you know, I don't know. Like you, I don't know all the facts.
The deal is, if here's my story, and I don't know exactly what bass rules are, if you can cross dry land or not dry, I don't know. But if Sabine River Authority views that as the same water as Toledo Bend,
right,
it's the same water as Toledo Bend. Now, I don't know what Bass's rules are concerning dry land.
Yeah.
Right. But it's a weird deal.
Yeah, it's interesting. We'll see.
Interesting deal. It's a key deal for sure. Check this out. We'll go back. Talking about making sure you know rules and regulations of where you can and can't fish.
Yeah.
You remember that?
I don't.
Lake Wiley, was that a publicity stunt?
Oh, you're talking about me. Oh, you're talking about me. Oh, yeah. Oh, referring to me. Oh, I thought you were talking about Keith Pochet. So I have, I think, talked about this before, but I'll mention it again. Cliff, I swear I can look in your eye right now. I'm looking at the camera. 100% it was not a publicity stunt. Now, I know from afar it looked like it, but That year, right, we had the Bassmaster Classic on Lake Wiley. I was unsure of the off limits. I actually called Trip
on a flip phone,
on a flip or bag phone or whatever it was back then, and I said, you know, what's the off limit? And he sort of explained it, but I misunderstood it. And in my mind, when I got near the boat ramp, I was going to see off limit signs and flagging, right? Which you know, bass 99.9% of the time they put those out. And for whatever reason, that year at the Classic, they did not have those signs out. So honestly, I can tell you, even though I didn't have a keeper in the boat and it looked like it may have, you know, it worked out in my favor. I'm not saying it didn't, but that was not on purpose. That was not on purpose.
Hold on. So, you know, I'm a fishing nerd, right? You know what else happened at Lake Wiley, that tournament? So that's, you know, Dean brought out the frog and Quinn was the deal, the hardware and all.
Right. Yeah.
You were rocking the old school jersey with the flames.
Flame jersey. Oh,
trying to cut a deal with Nike with the shirt unbuttoned.
Yes.
But that's not what I remember the most. What I remember the most was the wasps.
Wasps.
You said, watch out for the wasps.
Oh, yeah. I got torched, man. If anybody has ever, I'm sure if there's hardcore anglers listening to this, Cliff, you've been in this situation. You hang your deal. And, you know, you hang your deal. You have hang some deals and you're like, I'm breaking it off. But I was throwing this jig. I had just caught a big one. And I hung my jig. And I'm like, this is it. I get funny even with my jigs. I'm like, nah, this is the jig. I just caught this 4-pounder. I need this jig back. And I went in there. God bless you. I went in there to get it out. And, dude, I remember like it was yesterday. Like, I could hear this like this weird noise. And then I feel something in my hair or my neck, or I can't remember, maybe my neck. And I like grabbed it and looked, and I opened up my hand, and it was a wasp. So it stung my hand, but then it hit me, and I realized what was going on. Dude, talk about getting torched, Cliff. They fucked me up, dude. I mean, I think I had 9 or 11 stings. I was popping Advil like it was it was bad. It was bad. It was really bad. Terrible.
But yeah, the back to the original story of Keith jumping the deal, man. That was I mean, well, you know, he appealed his decision.
Yeah.
Bass denied it. But it's gonna be interesting to see what comes of it, if anything, more than that, because
I
mean, it's not like you can appeal to somebody else. I mean, Bass is their tournament and they decide on it, and But it'd be interesting to see what comes of it as far as rule changes or off limits or procedures on just to see what comes of it.
It's going to be interesting. And you know, there is a bigger topic to that, and maybe we hit that real quick before I go on. And you know, again, I'm saying this as a person that loves small boats, and I know you do too. But in a bigger sense, should Keith really be using that boat? And before you answer that, let me say this, that in bass fishing, especially MLF, because when MLF broke away, one of their primary goals was to create an even playing field, for all the anglers. We've done it with horsepower limits. We've done it with boat lengths, with a lot of things we've done it with, right? One rod at a time. No, we have all these very strategic rules off limits to make an even playing field. Is it right for Keith to have a boat that lets him access water that the other, 99% of the guys can't? Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
It is.
I think so because it's his boat, or that the size of his boat, as long as it's deemed safe,
right?
Let him go with it.
Okay.
Which FLW. So Keith was disqualified from an FLW tournament one time for having a motor that was too small. So there's a safety thing in there, and as long as his boat is safe, Coast Guard approved, Gator Tracks, it's a factory made boat. Or even if it was, we got guys fishing express boats now, even 21 footers, right? Aluminum boats lighter, it's going places where that fiberglass boat can't. as long as it's safe, yeah, I say use it.
Right.
I mean, as much as he can access, or any of the aluminum boat dudes, as long as if they can access things, because of the aluminum boat, they can't make that long run or they can't handle that big water. That's a pro and con. You got to be willing to trade off with.
It's a big trade-off. So it'll help Keith in some events. It'll hurt Keith in some events. Yeah. Interesting. I want to change topics again. You mentioned it before, but I do want to just give you kind of a shout out. I want you to talk a little bit about it. But dude, your social media, Cliff, is awesome. Like, I am in love with it. Dude, you're doing a great job of entertaining. You're doing a great job of information. You're doing a great job of teaching. I love your, is it Hook Set Mondays or Hook Set? I can't remember.
Morning Hook Set.
Monday morning Hook Sets. I love your, this year you've been doing a lot of teaching. I love that. Talk to me about that, because dude, it's your social media from when we hung out together years ago to now is just amazing. Talk to me about that. And I'm very proud of you for having a great social media.
Thank you. So the story goes, I'll back up way back when. I was told probably, I don't know, 10 years ago by Bert Angel, who at that time was the owner, manager at K2 Coolers. He said, man, this whole game, the whole world's going to social media. You need to get into content and go at it.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, that's 2012, 13, 14.
Yeah.
I'm on the Elite Series. I'm a fisherman. I don't do that stuff.
Right.
And he was right. If I'd listened to him 10 years ago, I'd be, God knows where I'd be. But you just watch and you learn. And I've been fortunate enough to hang out with some cool people and some people that know some stuff about the business. At one part, I was partnered with a group called Pro Edge Fishing.
Yeah.
And they tried to pull me along. The owners tried to teach me and stuff. But nah, man, I watched and tried to learn and saw I couldn't catch a whole lot of fish. And finally realized social media is part of the deal.
Yeah.
It helps you build your brand. But until you see it and see other people being successful with it,
yeah,
and you finally like, oh, here we got, let me get on it.
Yeah.
You can bring a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. But the biggest deal that got me really more active in it was coronavirus.
Yeah.
We had tournaments canceled at Major League Fishing. The whole world was shut down. And I knew you had to do something. You had to stay active. You had to stay relevant. You had to do something.
Right.
And social media was the only platform, or one of the few platforms that people had to work with and look and be entertained and learn. And I knew the company, I knew sponsors were looking like, so there's a pandemic or whatever's going on, but we're not paying you just to sit at home and pay up art and come out. You had to do something to stay active. And then that's kind of what got the ball rolling, I guess. Yeah. Maybe it was a little before that. It was a little before that, but that's really like, I was like, man, if something goes bad, but you got to have something to fall back on. Fishing the Elite Series or fishing Bass Pro Tour is cool and it's worth stuff, but there's nothing wrong with having
dude, it's super awesome. Like it's funny because there's coronavirus that time, the pandemic, there were a lot of bad things, but there are a lot of good things. And guys like you that stepped up, that was a good thing, dude. You did a good job. I mean, I'm having a lot of fun following your feed. It's awesome.
Appreciate it. But one thing, like I watch, this, we've talked before, like I talk a lot, but sometimes I just sit back and watch and look and learn and listen. And like, all the stuff you got going on, Ike, right now we're on Ike Live. Yeah. Mike Iconelli, Bass University, Ike Foundation. You got several different properties you're involved with. And if you just sit back and watch and see who's doing what and see who's successful. Yeah. The tournament guys are successful, but you gotta stay active.
You gotta have something else. And I'm a big advocate of that for young guys. So we have a lot of young guys that listen to the show, watch the show. I say young, high school kids, college kids. And so many of them, Cliff, think that They're going to work their way up and get to the promised land, which a lot of them will. They work hard enough, and they're just going to fish. So I love to hear, it's great to hear it from you because I'm sick of preaching it, but it's great to hear from you. It's a good reality check for these young guys, right? That you have to do other stuff, you know?
So check this out. So you got, Brandon did it early. Wheeler did it early. You did it. Van Dam jumped up. Like all the dudes started doing it. When you see Greg Hackney might be, you could have a conversation about why Greg Hackney is the best fisherman ever. No doubt. I mean, he got the beard. You know Greg personally. This dude wants to fish. He wants to fish for money. He wants to break your heart. Then he wants to go back to the camp. That's what he does as a person. Hunt and fish.
Yeah.
And even he's taking part in social media now.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's so cool to see you do a great job with that. And a great segue is you talked about having other things that are important for your business, but even bigger than that. And I kind of want to get to that. I wanted to say this for the end. This is great timing. You're doing something right now that I think is so cool. And I think a lot of anglers don't do it and should, which is create something to give back, right? In a greater sense, to give back. And it's crazy because baseball, football, basketball, other sports, you see it all the time. But fishing, you don't see it as much. And I love that you're doing this. Talk a little bit about this. So it's Every Fish Matters, right? I think you're a couple years into doing it.
Yep.
Talk about this because this program that you're doing, I love it. I love it. I love it. I want more people to know about it. What do you got going on? Tell me about it.
So what we got going on in July is the Cliff Crochet Every Fish Matters Conservation Banquet. This is held in partnership with Major League Fishing, Anglers Association Foundation. And what we do is we hold a banquet. We have good food, Blanchett's Cajun catering. We got fried fish, shrimp stew, auction, raffles, and it's all done in all the proceeds go back to conservation. What we done last year and we'll do for the next couple of years is we take all that money and just roll it back into buying fingerlings to stock local waters. Wow. We it's just that water's been good to a lot of people at home.
Yeah.
And we just you gotta do what you can to take care of it. And to introduce the word conservation to people that as fishermen and hunters, we probably don't think about conservation enough.
Right.
And not saying you got to catch and release 100% or
right.
But we have to take care of the water and put back to it and make sure we got what we need to keep fishing. And the good thing about stocking is that so we get together in July, we have this banquet, this conservation banquet, we spend money, we earn money, and then we buy fingerlings, we buy a fish, we put them in bags, we give them to you, and you go put them out. So you get to see where the money's going. It's not some project that's gonna be 10 years down the road or whatnot.
Yeah. And they're engaged in the process. I love that, right? Yeah.
And then what I really like of it too is, so Mike and Becky come that night and y'all hang out and see friends. It's like a class reunion, bro. I mean, it's just so everybody wins. New friends are made, old friends, old fishing buddies, new fishing buddies.
Yeah.
We make some money. It's conservation. And then, so we do it in July and summertime, come the springtime. Here comes Mike in Vegas and Becky. And now we got family involved. Now we got little Johnny. Now we're going to put fish out. Yeah. In your favorite fishing spot. So it just snowballs. The whole deal just snowballs. It feeds itself. Hopefully we catch some more fish. Working closely with Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries, building that relationship. Hopefully we can get more involved with them, get them more involved with us.
Yeah.
And, but we got some good looking water. It's God's country. It could be so
beautiful
much
part of the world. It's a beautiful part of the world.
Yeah,
Man, I love this program because this is the kind of thing that is like you're touching people like nationally, right, to make them aware of conservation. But I love that you're tying it back locally because that's the other thing too. Like I love the fact that, you're bringing it back to pier part. You're bringing it back to the basin. You're bringing it back to your home, and that's really cool to see that, man.
But the cool thing about fishing, man, is you got so many friends, so many memories. Like fishing has done so much. Not all right, there we go. Not as a job. Fishing has done so much. Not only have we been able to turn this into a job, but just the friends and the memories and some of the trouble you stayed out of. Like, fishing and hunting and outdoors give you a bunch. Yeah. So you got to be able to take care of it. And so I've been pretty fortunate in my career, to have a fair career and do it for a while. And, but you got to be able to help people. Yeah. And so what I've done in fishing is, it's let me be a rally point to gather people around and do stuff like conservation. Yeah. And if we want to talk fishing, I'll tell you everything I know about fishing. Try to help you catch more fish or catch big ones, whatever we can do to make it better for everybody.
It's awesome. It's awesome, man. So happy for what you're doing. I mean, it's good. It's a good thing, It's.
So you coming?
I might come. I know Becky knows about it. When's the date? I might. If I'm around, I will be there for sure.
It's the 100%. Week after ICAST.
It's a week after ICAST. Vegas has his junior national championship on Lake Hartwell. Second year in a row, he's qualified for nationals. So I won't be there, but it's a great segue. People listening right now, and they're like, holy hell, yes, I want to support this. Obviously, if people are in Louisiana and live locally, they want to drive to the event and help. But if people are watching, they're like, damn it, this is a good thing. I just want to help. Is there... Give a website. Where can they go? Go to your social site. What can they do to find more about
social media? My social media, Cliff Crochet across all platforms.
Yeah.
Or you can reach out to the Major League Fishing Anglers Association.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the foundation we run through, and that's just a foundation for the anglers, by the anglers.
Yeah.
And you can get to us by any of those avenues. We got we'll take donations. We'll take whatever you got. We just want to catch a few more fish in Louisiana, get a few more people on the water.
It's awesome, dude. I'm so happy for what you're doing, man. It makes me feel good. Should make everyone feel good. There's not enough fishermen doing stuff like that, so that's awesome. All right, Cliff. Dude, you got a big day tomorrow. I'm not going to keep you all day, but I'm so stoked to have you on. Honestly, you've been on the show more than probably any other guest I've ever had on. And this is the new format, so I hope you liked it. Just me and you shooting the shit. It was fun catching up with you. And good luck tomorrow, dude. Let's see.
Thank you.
Let's see like 17 to 20 the next 3 or 4 days. You know what I mean? Just keep it rolling, bro. Keep it going, man. I want to see it. And I'll be watching. Here's the thing. People assume, if you're watching, listen to this right now, don't assume that I hate MLF. Because I do not hate MLF. I actually, as a fan of fishing, I love watching it, dude. I really do. Like, I was upstairs. Beck came in the office. I was upstairs. She's like, it's 1 o'clock. Cliff's coming on. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, I thought it was like, because I was watching live. I was watching Wheeler whacking on him. He catches them and always throws the lure so you can't see what he's catching them on.
Imagine that. And he catches a bunch of them.
Oh, yeah. But I love watching it. I can't wait to watch you tomorrow compete. Good luck, man. I want to see you catch a big bag. And good luck the rest of the year, too, for sure.
Thank you. Hopefully we just keep it simple and get a few more bites. Have some fun because, man, when you're having fun, that's when it really starts.
It clicks.
When the juices start flowing. That's when it gets good.
I think you're right because I'm having a little more fun this year myself, catching a few. So, Cliff, thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for making me the #1 guest. I love it. Maybe
you got it.
Might be in studio.
You should be. You should be. There you have it, everybody. Cliff Crochet. Thank you, Cliff. Love you, man.
Go Tigers.
All right. There you have it, everybody. Cliff Crochet. Dude, what a good dude, man. Great having him on the show multiple times. And heck of a fisherman. Heck of a promoter. Follow his social feed, dude. He's doing a great job. And with this thing he's doing with Every Fish Matters, dude, follow that or contribute or do something like that your own. We have to give back. Conservation matters. So great having Cliff on, and it's going to be fun watching him over the next couple days over there at Gunnersville. Okay, this is the part of the show I know a lot of you guys wait for, and you're excited. We're going to be doing a live. See that? I can actually make the screen shake. Watch. Live mystery tackle box unboxing. I think we're going to go with an elite box today. Let me make sure I have it the right way. And let me remind you that this thing just comes to your doorstep. You don't need anything. You don't have to make a phone call. You don't have to type in numbers. You don't have to do any of that stuff. Sign up, and this thing will come to your doorstep once a month. Like, you have to walk over it, right? So you know it's there. And this is Mr. Tackle Box. It's great. It comes in a little box, loaded with goodies. And this is my favorite part. You know, I've said it before, but these are all sealed. And I love get my scissors or my box cutter or my fingernail or fish hook, and I cut that seal. Ready? There it goes. Broke that seal. And this is like the aha moment, because when you open this box, you ready? The aha moment of having stuff in your hands that is new, cutting edge, colors, stuff that you might not normally buy. It forces you to take it. So I love that. So this box is loaded. You know, both boxes, the Pro box and the Elite box, are great, but I love the Elite box. It's loaded with stuff. And in no particular order, I'm going to pull out a couple things, and I'll show you my top two items. So we've got a black frog. We just had Cliff Crochet on. We've got a black and blue jig. It's a great one. But I see a couple in here. Some great looking soft plastic, some flipping baits, a jerk bait, a swim bait, a popper, hooks. Dude, this box loaded. But this one instantly caught my eye, guys. Let me see if I can get a shot of it without the glare there. And this is a Lunker Hunt Agent. And when I looked at it, my first thought was it's a smaller, moderate-sized jerkbait. Guys, it is not. It is a spy bait. And what I love about this spy bait is most spy baits you get are like little. This spy bait's a little bigger. This spy bait's probably a 5-inch spy bait. And I like that concept, right? Why does spy baiting have to be limited to little tiny miniature baits? I like the concept that it's bigger. It's a dual prop spy bait. Looking at the back, it's a slow sink. It has dual counter rotating props. It weighs 1/4 of an ounce. You're going to be able to cast it further. I think this is going to be a good bait. And when they're eating bigger forage, I can really see this spy bait working. All right, let's see. We've got black popper. I love. All right, let's go with this one. So runners up real quick. 13 fishing, little tiny Vega minnow, which is a little swim bait. Very cool looking. Nomad design jerk bait. Little different, longer body design. I like that. But for my second pick, I'm going to go with the Biwa Curly. And the great thing about these MTB boxes, you're going to see some companies in these boxes that are not normal that you'd see at Tackle Warehouse or something like that. Some Japanese lure companies. And this is one. It's a Biwa Curly. And I'm going to open this up, and I want you to see this bait because it reminds me of a new, updated version. I can't get it open though. And those Japanese pack stuff good. I'm telling you, man, they good at packing stuff. Golly. All right. It's childproof. Biwa Curly reminds me of an old school grub, right? Old school grub. Here's the thing. In today's age of swim baits and swim bait fishing, people forgot about the freaking grub. And this is just a little curl tail grub. It's got a fatter body, but a real skinny sickle tail, which I like, right? So big body for a bigger hook or a bigger jig head, but a thinner tail, which means more action. The other thing I like about this is the Bio Curly. You ready? It's Elastec, guys. It's Elastec technology. So the days of putting a Mr. Twister or Callan's grub on there and having it rip after 2 fish, no more. A curl tail grub that's Elastec. It's also watermelon red flake, which is probably the best color ever created. The Bio Curly, another great item in that box. Dude, these things are loaded. So let me remind you, if you're looking at this and you're listening, you're saying, I got to get a Mystery Tackle Box subscription. I got to get one of these boxes. Head on over to mysterytacklebox.com. If you use the promo code IkeLive, man, you're going to get 30% off your first Elite box, 50% off your first Pro box. They also make great gifts if you're already a subscriber. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this Ike Live. We had a lot of fun talking to Cliff, a good old buddy of mine. Really, really fun. It was great. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Also, want to remind everybody, head on over to the IkeFoundation.org. We got the Pro-Am coming up. We also have a kids event coming up. And if you just want to help get kids fishing, head on over there. Sign up. So we got really cool guests coming up on our next show. Bernie Schultz is going to join us. Bernie's not just a great fisherman, but he's also an antique lure collector. So you won't want to miss the next show. So thank you for watching Ike Live 2.0. See you on the next show. Bye.
You know, right now where we're standing, we're in Camden, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Philadelphia is right there. This is the concrete jungle. And, you know, a lot of those kids, as they grow up, they don't fish. It's interesting because they're surrounded by water, you know, the Delaware River, the Schuylkill, ponds, city park lakes, but they don't have the influence to cast, to fish, to have a rod and reel. And that became our focus, you know, is to target kids in what we call non-traditional areas, you know, urban areas, city centers, where the population's high, and let these kids have an experience. You know, it's amazing. I mean, some of the experiences we've had, whether it's Central Park in New York City, here in Camden, other parts of the country, even just casting.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable to see it, isn't it?
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
Yes.
And you know, you see these kids have this experience they've never had, and they light up, you know? The big thing, I think, for the Ike Foundation is we're not saying we want all these kids to become professional anglers.
Yeah.
Be great if some of them did, but we want them to have that fishing experience because it ties them to so many other positive things. The outdoors, nature, conservation. Ecology, you know, all these amazing things in life that maybe they wouldn't have been exposed to any other way. We're trying to help with that. So it's important. It's important for us.
Yeah.
We're proud of it.
Four and a half inch drop shot worm, Bama bug. Finesse jig, PB&J, give me something hard. Hey, KVD here. Now, I didn't always know this much about fishing. 4-aught EWG worm hook. In fact, there was a time when I couldn't tell the difference between a jerkbait and a stickbait. But then I signed up for Mystery Tackle Box, the original monthly tackle subscription. And now I know more about fishing than I do about calculus.
And he knows a lot about calculus.
Plus, I get amazing extras like free fishing magazines. October 2016. Featured article, 4 places to throw a frog. Exclusive decals. Zombie bass. And how-to videos for all the great baits I receive. How to tune a crankbait. Is that underwater footage I smell?
I got goosebumps.
So if you're looking to develop enhanced fishing abilities like me, or you just like getting new tackle every month, go to mysterytacklebox.com and get your box today.